Welcome to Paul's Experimental Workshop, where the scientist, engineer, and maker and me all come out. We build stuff, we try stuff, put things together, see what works, see what doesn't, and we have some fun making things. Today we are going to do Christmas ornaments. Hello, we're going to try our first ornament cutout. So I found a piece of wood that I had that's 10 3/8 by 12 and it's 0.18 thick. And we're going to put that on the CNC and cut out these 4 ornaments, then drill holes for hooks or string. I have saved the tap file, the CNC file, the CAM file, to my flash drive and brought it to my interface, which hooks up with my controller, and that controller talks to the router there. Now, as you notice, my X, Y, and Z don't all say 0. It's because we kind of have to re-zero things often, especially now that you see here I got 2 boards. I got the top board and this bottom board. And this is a spoiler board. This is a board that I'm just going to end up wasting eventually because I need to cut through this board all the way. But this bed is metal, so I can't do metal on the metal. So we got to have a board underneath that we're allowed to just cut up, and eventually we'll just get rid of it. So I've moved my spindle, my router bit, to what I am going to call 0, 0, 0. It's right on the wood, and it's up in the top left corner. And I'm going to tell it to 0, X, Y, and Z, and say yes, that is X, Y, and Z, and now it says 0. So then I will choose USB, go click on the file, turn on my router, and then click for it to start. And this should take about 11 minutes. But first I do want to put one more, after I move this away from my 0, I want to put one more clamp up here. So I've moved my router away from 0, 0, 0 so I could add that clamp there. Now, hopefully that's not going to get in the way of it doing anything. I need to put my little top on. Oh, it's going to hurt with the camera. Trying to contain some of that dust. Come on, there we go. All right, USB. See, there's a whole bunch of files there. Pick the file that I want. Next, and it's getting ready to start. So, start the router. This is going to take 11 minutes, so right now I'm just going to drill the holes, and I'll let it get started cutting, and then I'll stop this and come back and talk about the end. So here's my ornaments cut out. It only took about 8.5 minutes. I don't know why it said 11. I thought before, maybe I read it wrong. So a couple mistakes I made when I did this. My first mistake was I forgot to change the router bit. I had a 1/4 inch bit in there. I wanted to use an 1/8 inch bit. It had just started cutting this one, so I said, okay, we'll just stop it. I raised it up. I changed the router bit, and I tried to re-zero to the same exact place. And if you notice the circles, the holes right here, they're not exactly centered up, which means I didn't get 0, 0 back into the exact spot. Okay, I'm all right with that. This is just a trial thing. Other mistake I made was using these clamps kind of towards the middle, forgetting that this whole chassis thing here is going to be moving. So this leg here is moving down to here, and it just pushed these down. Luckily it didn't pop them off, because if it popped them off, the board would have come up and that would have been really bad. So I ended up just getting them down here. You need to find a clamp that just sits like a C-clamp kind of thing, that's really tight in this frame, because there's only a little bit of a gap here that I got to work with. And there's only about a finger's clearance underneath it. I thought they'd have a T-channel thing that would go right here. I've got to really look. I haven't found one yet. So there's the ornaments. As you see, they left some tabs, because if you don't leave tabs when you cut through, this piece would come loose while the router bit was there, and it would just move around and the router bit would just cut it up. So you got to make sure you leave tabs. I measured it to be 0.18. I cut 0.19, and as you can see, the spoil board got cut, and that's the whole point behind it. I got to cut through here, and I need somewhere to cut, and it's just cut it up. That's okay. That's what it's for. Eventually these grooves are going to get in my way, and I will sand them down or route the whole thing down smooth again. I've got 3/4 inch of a board here to mess with, so I'd probably mess with a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch kind of thing. But that's the point of a spoil board. You cut through and you cut this all up, and eventually you get rid of it. So that's my first start at ornaments. Try not to make the mistakes that I did. I would probably, I'll use some kind of another handsaw to get these cut out, and then probably paint them up. Have fun. There you go. Thanks for watching. Contact me for questions, information, or ideas for me to do. Thanks. Bye.